Good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Good day and welcome to Weekly Tips. Today I'm putting some cents in your tip jar. Welcome today, I'm Daniel, and today we're going to be discussing Drop Shadow. Now this is a thing that I have mentioned in a few videos, but today we're going to go a little further with it and just discuss a few things here and there to help you improve and show you the true magic of drop shadows. So yeah, drop shadows, they obviously, here I've pre-made an object, so obviously you're going to have an object in your scene, and drop shadows are basically what ties it to the ground. It's the shadow that is created when you have an object blocking the light. And that's what's created is a drop shadow. Obviously with different shapes, like this is a sphere, and the light is coming from that way there that I've just drawn. So from the top left hand corner on this image, that's where the light's coming from in this scene. So that means that the way the shadow is going to go is it's going to go left, as I just painted just before. Here now I'm lifting the ball up, so I'm creating a shadow so that it looks like it is actually being, the ball is lifted up off the ground a little bit. So that means that the drop shadow will be a little further down, it won't be so close to the actual ball. This is kind of an illusion kind of a thing. It takes a bit to work out. You want kind of smooth edges to your thing, so try using a smooth brush. I use a hard brush here. That's because it's kind of my default, but you might find it easier to use a softer brush. And here I play around with lower opacities, try to get that kind of center point, because usually there's a point where you get the most a big hard round shape of the drop shadow, where the biggest shadow is, because most the bigger shape is covering the shadow there, and then you've got this wider shape, which is because the parts that are blocking it are getting further and further away in the sphere, if that kind of makes sense in a way. It's a lot of trial and error and just looking at these kind of shapes. Maybe create a 3D environment in a world and put some lighting in it, like Blender does that. You can make that happen, and see how it works and things like that. Here I'm adding an extra little bit to it, because obviously we have characters, we have lots of different things going on. So I wanted to do something just a little bit more than a sphere, so I added like an extruded kind of triangular shape to the sphere that's sitting there. It's not perfectly drawn here, but it's just kind of gives you an idea of what kind of a drop shadow that is kind of not a similar shape. It's got a couple of shapes on it. What kind of drop shadows can be created with that? You start getting into more confusing things, but it's the same principles as your sphere, and things like that. Here I'm starting off with a quick kind of drop shadow as it's sitting on the ground here. You have the same kind of principle. You got the darks and then you got the midtones, except with that extra shape that we've added, it is further off the ground, so that means that the shadow will be lighter. It won't be as apparent. Same with the sphere. The further up it's not as apparent, because it's actually, as we go around this sphere, it is getting in distance to the ground. It is going up as soon as we go around that sphere. So that's why we get that kind of shape, that kind of circle in the middle, that really dark circle, and then a more lighter shadow around the outside. I've done it first time, so you saw me the first time around. Here I redo it again just to show you how little bit of different it is with another shape added to it. And it gets more complicated when you add more shapes and more things. Yeah, but it's all a learning curve, and if you do these kind of exercises, just do simple shapes, cubes, spheres, triangles, and try doing your shadows in different angles. It will really help in when you get to doing your drop shadows for your characters and things. They will look more realistic and they'll start to fit in, and you'll understand how to do them a bit better. Obviously there's always trial and error, you know, even here it's only a sphere and a shape, but I'm doing a little bit of trial and error. I'm still learning as well, you know. There's no exactly word for word copy of this out there. I've got to kind of think where with my sphere that I've drawn and the shape that I've created, you know, where the actual where it actually is supposed to sit. You know, I've got to work it out, play around, because there's nothing like this out there. I mean, there's shapes similar to this, like BB-8 and those kind of characters, but you know, this that I've just drawn now, it doesn't exist. You know, it might, if I'm lucky, there might be something like this on Google. But yeah, I've really got to think and process what it's actually going to be using the rules that I know for making a drop shadow. And yeah, you know, drop shadows can be that magic last minute thing that does really push a drawing and make it feel like it's actually in the environment. They deal with environments in different ways, obviously, and I could probably delve a little bit further into that as well, because you know, with drop shadows, they also interact with the background as well. So if it's on, say, this is floating on grass for some reason, or if it's floating on some shape that's extruded and things like that, it's got a little bit of grit to it and things like that. The shadow will be affected as well. It will be morphed a little bit, but on a flat surface, this really works. So thinking about that too is your surface flat as well. Those kind of things does help to push it a bit further. So that's me showing you a little bit of magic of how to do these drop shadows. I'm not the perfect at doing drop shadows. I try my best, and I got to do a bit of play around every day, or with every piece, to try and get that drop shadow right. But I do understand most of the all of the principles. There's always something to learn, as I always say. But yeah, hopefully you did learn something about drop shadows, and you'll be a master at drop shadows after you listen to this video, and many others out there that talk about drop shadows. There's so many more to watch, so hopefully you do learn a lot, and keep trying, keep drawing, keep practicing. So if you do, you know, draw drop shadows, if you have before, if you've never, you know, you never actually thought of drop shadows before, you know, let me know down in the comments what you think. If you think this video helped, let me know. I really would appreciate it. All you guys checking out my videos does make this channel a better place. So keep drawing, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.